Welcome to the lunch table. I'm your host, Favour Ajayi. Welcome back to the third episode of the lunch table. It's a new year, meaning more problems, more advice coming your way. Lunch is in session. Let's see what's in the menu for today's episode. Keep anonymity. Let's call our submitter Jenna. Let's see what Jenna has to say. I just started school, and it seems like everyone around has some sort of idea that they want to do currently. Everyone has something interesting that they did over the summer, but I haven't done anything that's worth sharing or impressive. I'm worried that I'm falling behind. Should I feel worried that I haven't done anything this past summer to improve myself? Before you even notice, summer ends as quickly as it starts. It's not uncommon to feel as if you haven't done anything. In this day and age, it's often expected or seen as the norm for high school students to do something productive during the summer. Many students feel the need to work or participate in programs rather than just doing nothing. According to the new Pew Research Center analysis of Bureau of Labor Statistics data, teens ages 15 to 17 are committing more of their time in the summer to educational activities and less time to leisure. Therefore, to help solve Jenna's dilemma, a few friends have invited me to their lunch table. Let's see what they have to say. Okay, hi, I would like to welcome our guests, Eric and Wafi.
Hello, everyone. I'm Eric. I'm a junior here. I kind of failed my bio test today, but I think it's fine because I'm here, right? And I'm here. That makes me happy again.
Hello, I'm Wafi. I'm also a junior. I did not fail my bio test, but I'm glad to be here because I'm interested to hear what is going on.
Okay, so how does it feel to be back in school? Like, did you guys do anything fun over the summer?
I had no fun over the summer. I was trapped outside every day in the sweltering heat. I might have got heat stroke a few times. The good thing is I did make a little bit of money, so that's pretty nice.
Yeah, glad to be back at school. I'm glad to see Eric's face again. Summer was pretty good too. Well, not really because I did work all day, but I got a lot of money too.
Yeah, same for me. I had some fun. I did a program. Were you at the consortium, like the NYC?
Yes, at the
Yeah.
consortium, right?
Yeah, you guys were all there. Yeah, I saw Julia, I saw Creep, I saw Victoria, I saw a lot of people there. So yeah, that was pretty fun. Okay, speaking of the summer, I know we all know a lot about Dubai chocolate. We've seen the different variations. We've seen Dubai chocolate strawberries, Dubai chocolate Shake Shack drink, Dubai chocolate matcha. So what are your thoughts on that?
I actually never had Dubai chocolate before. How much does it cost?
I don't freaking know. I don't have it either.
Oh, you don't have it either?
Both of you are very accomplished. And what made you want to start applying yourself more in your academic journey outside of school?
I mean, obviously we're in a specialized high school, and everyone's really caught up with getting into a good college and everything. So I guess that kind of influenced me to seek stuff to do outside of school because you can't really you need to get involved outside of school. There's no other way to pursue your interests.
I just say my background. So growing up, I developed this ethic of working hard, looking at my parents, right? They work hard. So anytime I'm in school, whether it's middle school or elementary school, it's always, working hard, doing stuff outside of school. And I feel once you get into high school, there's the amount of doors that can be opened through these after school activities get opened by a lot, right? Because when you're middle school and elementary school, there's not a lot of programs for you besides after school. You go there, eat some snacks, just play a few games, activities, right? But in high school, you can apply for many more things, much more opportunities to explore yourself. So I feel that, and then just being able to develop myself more, right? Actually recognizing my passion that allowed me to pursue my interests more. But was there another part to your question?
No, that was it.
Okay,
I totally agree with both of you. As a child of immigrant parents, I think it's very important for us to apply ourselves more, to look at pursue other things other than our schoolwork, because we have to be well-rounded individuals. I think one thing that's really great about our school is that everybody, whether it's a student or a teacher, they're always talking about extracurriculars or classes or stuff that you should be doing or applying yourself with. So I feel you have opportunities to take some stuff outside of school and explore yourself more as a person. There has been a debate that doing prestigious internships may seem essential and less valuable than working in a traditional service job. What are your thoughts?
All right, so the one thing I want to make clear, right? So at the end of the day, everybody has their own path, right? Everybody has their own values, right? So my parents work at a restaurant, right? I've been helping out at their restaurant since I was in sixth grade, and ultimately, I feel whether I'm doing research, if you do some prestigious research program, they only accept a few hundred people around the country every year, only the best of the best, right? Or just working at your parents' restaurant. Right? I feel both of it is the same. If you ask me, I would actually argue that working at my parents' restaurant is better, right? Because at the end of the day, I get to help my family. Actually, I feel more proud when I'm at my restaurant and I'm actually able, I'm able to see what my parents are able to accomplish. The past 20 years of owning the restaurant. So I feel that is more important than research, right? At the end of the day, it's really what matters to you, not what matters to everybody else. Because everybody else might have different views, but you don't. it's not yours, right? So what matters is what you like, right? What you value, and then based off that, you can decide which one's better for you, right?
Good point, Eric. I agree with you completely. But I also want to say, just like how, like, I think it's valid to be proud of working in a restaurant, working in your parents' restaurant, compared to like doing an internship or whatever. But I feel like when you're doing an internship, it gives you like a sense of like accomplishment, knowing that you're in a whole lab doing stuff, doing stuff that high schools at this age don't do typically. So while like while day-to-day jobs and internships both are useful, both are very valuable, as like they both give you many insights into whatever field you might be going into. I think, like, for me personally at least, the internship route is like a lot more satisfying.
Do you think you learned any meaningful life skills through your internship or enrichment programs that you participated in?
Many, because two things. Oh, actually, let me go on a side tangent right here. The most important thing I gained, I think, so the guy who won the Nobel Prize in chemistry for 2025, he was my mentor.
Really?
Like one of my mentors, like an associate mentor, technically. So I built that connection with him, and now, like, if I were to get a rec letter from him, that'd be insane. Like a rec letter from a Nobel Prize winner. Other than that, like, speaking like interpersonally, I think I learned a lot of work ethic specifically, because I was in the lab from 9 to 5 every day, 5 days a week, and it was a lot of work. But eventually, it paid off because I was able to see my poster, get my money, and like, build that research experience that not many high schools at this age have. What about you, Eric?
Wow, Wafi, that was it sounds like you had a very eventful summer. So I just say being able to meet new people, right? Just like being able to expand that network, being able to interact with people, right? When I'm outside, doing research in the community, doing community science, it's like I see everybody, Asians, white, Hispanics, all different areas, up in the Bronx, Manhattan, down in Brooklyn, down in 8th Avenue, in Far Rockaway. So it's just like being able to like meet different cultures, meet different people, and just be able to talk to them, right? I just feel like that human interaction, that social interaction is very important. It's very, very fulfilling as well.
Welcome to the lunch table. I'm your host, Favour Ajayi. It's a new school year, meaning more memories, but also more hurdles and challenges. Don't worry, because the lunch table has got you. Feel free to share any concerns through our Google form on the Cardinal Chronicles. You can remain 100% anonymous. Okay, so have you guys worked in a service job, like working in a restaurant, grocery stores? I know, Eric, you talked about that. And how do you think it compares to things that you did in the past summer?
Working in the restaurant, I feel like it's just two completely different things, right? When I'm in the lab, I use more of my, I'd say, academics, like till you plan, you do calculations, and then when you go into a restaurant, it's more fast paced, it's more pressure, right? When you're in the restaurant, maybe you're thinking about which order should I make, how should I serve the customer, how should I resolve this dispute between the customer, if the customer says the food tasted bad, something's dirty, versus like in the lab you're probably calculating out the molarity, doing some like sort of like scientific experiment. Like it's just completely different things, but I feel like both of them are very important, right? Critical thinking in the lab versus like being able to perform under pressure in service establishments.
Same here. I agree with Eric. Like, before I entered high school, my dad has a friend who owns a restaurant next to my house. So he kind of hooked me up there. I used to work there for a while. And then, like Eric's right, it's very fast paced, the restaurant environment. But I believe that it's very useful too, because beyond however much of a scientist you may be, you're still a person. You got to learn those kind of skills too. You can't just be good at science and nothing else. You got to have like interpersonal skills as well as being good at, an academic subject.
I have personally never worked at a service job, but I know that my mom, she had her own job in Nigeria, and I know, like, when I was younger, I would like be there with her, and I know how fast paced that was and how stressed she was, because she was also cooking and selling some other stuff also. Another question I have for you is, have you ever felt the need to reinvent yourself based on how you viewed others?
Yeah, like when I first entered my internship over the summer, like my lab partner, he was really smart. He was like really like tapped into what we were doing, right? And so was I. That's why I got into a lab in the first place. But I feel like having that kind of passion, like the passion that he did, and being able to show it through your personality was like a really useful skill. So I kind of like adapted to that as I hung out with him more through the summer, and I think he really rubbed off on me, which was a good thing, I'd say, ultimately.
Wow, that's a very good question, Favor. It's very reflective. Thinking about it, it's like very often you get influenced by the external, the external environment, the people that you interact with. So yeah, quite often, like coming into the school, there's just like unspoken pressure, right, to like succeed, do a bunch of these internships, right, get good grades, right. So I do feel like it's harmful in a way, but at the same time, right, at the end of the day, you need to realize that everybody has a different path in life, and you pick your own path, right, and you shouldn't let anybody else tell you what to do. But even then, right, some encouragement from like the others, the influence from the external environment is nice, right. You just have to make sure it's in a healthy dosage and it's like beneficial for you and not harming you.
Do you think like the need to reinvent yourself is it entirely a positive thing to do, or is it entirely negative, or do you feel like it's in the middle?
It really depends on the person. Sometimes inventing yourself is good, right? It makes you a better person. For example, if you're a bad student and you felt this pressure to succeed, you're being encouraged by others to succeed, right? But at the same time, you could be like a good student in a high pressure environment. So it's very important to be able to choose what affects you and what doesn't. If it's something affecting you that might be bad in the long run, it's bad in that case, right? But if it's something good, such as encouraging, makes you a better person, then that would be good for you. So it's really in the middle, and it really depends.
Yeah, same thoughts. Like reinventing yourself depends on who you are. I feel like we're surrounded by people every day who have some aspect to them that's got to be good, right? So it's best to take those things away from those people you meet every day, but also completely reinventing yourself is, it might cross a few lines. It depends who you are and what you want to make yourself out to be. Otherwise, there's not really any need to do much about it. You can just be yourself.
So finally, what advice would you give Jenna, who feels as if she's falling behind?
Jen, at the end of the day, it's just important to stay true to yourself, right? Ask yourself, what do you want to do? What do you want to do in life, right? Actually, no, that's not even true because technically, you're only in high school. You don't need to know like what you want to do yet. But at the end of the day, just live life. Just live life happily, right? Whatever makes you happy. If something interests you, for example, you're taking a bunch of science classes. The school is for science, right? But maybe you're interested in playing an instrument. In that case, join music makers. If you like to act, join QHSS Act. Whatever interests you, right? Don't go like based off what your peers are doing. Your peers might say, "Oh, this club is bad because it doesn't help you in the field of science," or music makers is bad because it doesn't help you be a better scientist. At the end of the day, what do you want to be, right? If you don't want to be a scientist, then it's okay, and don't let other people tell you otherwise or like try to influence you, right? If other people are getting to this really good internship, that's great, that's good for them, but that doesn't mean you need to as well. Everybody walks a different path in life, and all the timelines are different, so don't stress too much about it.
Yeah, I think you should just step away from all the pressure for a bit. Because I know we're in a specialized high school, so the pressure is a lot compared to wherever else like other people might be. But also, the fact that you feel like you're behind, it doesn't mean much because you're a high school junior, and technically, like to some extent, we're all behind. If you keep comparing yourself to others, for example, there's probably some 11-year-olds who are like PhD students, but obviously, like none of us here do. So if you put it that way, technically we're all behind. But you kind of got to be yourself and like focus on making yourself be the best person you can be, because not everyone is built the same, and like everyone has different standards. So you might need to step away from the comparison and just let yourself be.
Yeah, and just remember that there's always time. Like you're noticing this stuff now, so you can take the time to reflect and do stuff to change that. Thank you for being on today's podcast, and I hope, Jenna, whoever you are, that you get help from this.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
And that concludes The Lunch Table. The Lunch Table is the Cardinal Chronicle's podcast-style advice column where the people of QHSS can submit their entries asking for advice on anything. Struggling in a class, friendship drama, or holiday dilemmas, feel free to share whatever's been on your mind. This was produced by Joyce Lynn and Favour Ajayi. This is your host, Favour Ajayi, signing off.